this leads to a very interesting question. The sacred ceremonial grounds has the toad and it has the astronomy. What doesn't it have? With all the hype that you've heard on TV about 2012, you would think that you could go down to where the Maya lived and you could find stone carvings of December 21st, 2012 in stone 100 feet high, right? That's how important they think it is. No, there's not a single long count calendar date carved in the sacred ceremonial grounds of Izapa. None. And I didn't realize that until a couple months ago, and I almost fell out of my chair again. I just went, whoa, because it seems to support what I'm saying. The time of 2012 is not really important. It's the time the astronomy arises. It's the time when the foundation of the metaphor is put in place. But don't think about the time. Think about the content, the core message of the Maya's triple rebirth and the sacred tree. And we'll take more questions now in the back.
Yeah, what's this myth about the end of time in 2012? How does it tie to what you're saying?
I don't think it exists. I don't think the Maya have a myth of the end of time. I think that's fabricated.
So this is like somebody invented it.
I think what happened was some people got their hands on this. When the calendar was first investigated, there's a big question, you know, like, does the calendar really restart on the winter solstice? Or is it 2 days later? Because some people say it's 2 days, other people say it's a different time and all this kind of stuff. To let you know, there was 45 years of research from 1905 to 1950 where they correlated that date of the Maya calendar to our calendar. Now, as far as the metaphors that are put in place by the Maya, you have very difficult scenarios, and I can't answer all. First of all, we destroyed a lot of their work, so we can't really dig into it as much as we would like. And then others, I think there's layers being put on. Like, for example, when our calendar was invented, nobody freaked out on Friday the 13th. It was just like, oh, Friday the 13th, right? And now it's like, whoa, I don't know about that Friday the 13th thing. I'm going to see, it's added later. So I think that there's a chance that some of the people were around these enlightened beings and they didn't get it. So they started to lay on superstitious things. And so I don't think that those things hold much value. I could be wrong, but I don't think time will end. That's another thing. I mean, we'll know right away when that, you know, it's like, right? Go ahead.
Something new.
Please again?
It could be a death of something old and rebirth of something new.
Well, that's true. And what's interesting is the toad itself does not die when it eats its skin. And when our day ends, it's not like it does disappear from our experience in the way that it was, right? Yesterday is not here like it was yesterday. So, yes, but the death is not something like, oh, be afraid death. You know, it's just this continual unfolding. And it's very much a mystery. I mean, when you talk about the moment is always now. And yet it's reborn in all this different form all the time. How does that happen? Over here.
But the earth will wobble on that day.
The earth is always smoothly, slowly wobbling. Very slowly. Imperceptibly.
But some people believe that it will reverse poles on that day.
There are a lot of people that have, in my opinion, unsubstantiated hypotheses. So I don't see any magnetic pole reversal coming. I don't see any planet X. I don't see any of these things. Here?
I just wanted to mention that Hope Dance is promoting the spirit molecule. DMT is something we all have in our kind of.
I understand. Yes, I've heard of.
And there is a correlation of gets released throughout our life, but they're making discoveries and tying it into the toad that it's the same thing that works in the consciousness.
And this is a very interesting, I'll get to you in just a sec. This is a very interesting thing because what we're talking about here is what causes these shifts in consciousness. Is it a material thing? Do we need to hop up our DNA? Right? And I say no. It's not that we have a bad car. You see somebody parking in the parking lot and he's bumping into one car and then in another. Oh, he needs a better car. You get him a Formula One car, right? And boom, 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 boom. You know, I mean, it's like you need a better driver. You need a higher consciousness. It comes from a spiritual dimension, and it may change some of the physical things and bring about some of these other changes. Spence.
Is it possible that because these things are happening on that day, December 21st, 2012. Is it possible that the Mayan shamans believed that that was a particularly a day when one could realize one's deepest nature, is kind of like a day that is particularly good for
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
rebirth?
Like, is it good to go swimming in the ocean when it's nice and calm, or you go when there's 20-foot waves and you can't swim very well? You know, I mean, there are different situations in form, and it's wise to tune into them and respect them. Yet, I don't see this day as especially suited for it. I mean, if you were the Maya high priest and your astronomer came up, check this out, man, look what's coming, you know. He says, well, when's it going to be, you know? Oh, it won't be for a while, you know. Well, when? Oh, 2,000 years from now. Well, geez, come back in 1,990 years and maybe we'll put something on the calendar. You know, it's like, for it to be relevant for them back then, I think they had to see it as fully timeless. And when you open up and become aware, how many people here have been around people that say, you are divine, you are immortal? I have. People told me that for 20 years, and they didn't tell me how. I sat there and I looked, which part? You know? I mean, you are eternal, you are divine in your awareness. It is in your awareness that you find your eternal nature. I heard that, and I went, well, that's interesting, you know? And that's just like somebody who's watching the sun move across the sky and measuring it. It's over here, okay, now it's over there. And I come up to that guy and I say, hey, do you know the sun doesn't move? He'd be going, the people I have to deal with, you know, right? And he says, I saw the sun over that tree 2 hours ago. And now it's over here. Are you telling me that that tree got up, hopped over a little bit, you know, plunked itself down? And I say, no, no, no. I'm not saying that. And I said, well, you know, it looks like it moves. But what's really happening is the Earth is spinning on its axis, right? Jump in my spaceship, let's go outside and watch. So we watch the Earth spin on its axis, right? And then what happens when we come back from that trip? He knows that the Earth is spinning on its axis and the sun is not moving across the sky. He knows this. What happens to his experience? It is the same. The experience is that he will witness the sun moving across the sky. This is what's so important about an illusion. Illusions are persistent, even when you know the deep fundamental truth. It seems like you are a separate, mortal, sentient being. But you are not a being of any kind. You are sentience itself. You are sentience itself. And yet you will always have the experience of being a being in your normal consciousness. This is me. This is what I do. I have my personality, my mind, and the illusions are persistent. Shall we end on that note, or do we have more questions? Thank you. You're all very kind.